would be tragic. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So now we're good, I'm thinking? Alright. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, so this is Kaizo Monkey Ball. There's gonna be a lot of just kind of really awesome levels, really kind of, that's not how you spell Ike. Missed a letter. Yeah, just really crazy stuff. Hopefully I don't die too much, but it will happen a lot. I will probably get stuck on a few levels, but you know, that's all a part of the fun. Alright, I'm gonna be counting down 3, 2, 1, go, alright? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so yeah, this first level is particularly dumb. It's quite an apt intro to this game, if you ask me. It's these waves that kind of just go crazy mode on you, and you're supposed to just kind of like finagle your way over to the goal. And it really doesn't like to work very often because the goal moves up and down really fast. This isn't even the intended way to do this level. You're kind of supposed to go around the backside instead of over the top. Yeah, see there, it's like, if the goal was like lower, then it would have worked, but it sadly was not the case. So this usually takes a few tries. Little low again. But yeah, hopefully we don't get stuck on this level for too long, and then we can like get into the actual start of the run. Okay, how about we just get in right now? Nope. Not gonna happen. Okay. A little off again. It's easy to aim a little too far off, and then even if you overcorrect, because the goal moves up and down so quickly, you can like get a little you can get a little bit juked. Okay, there we go. We're finally past that. Okay, yeah. So welcome to Kaizo Monkey Ball now. Now we're starting the actual levels that aren't really stupid. There's actually 70 levels in this hack. They're all by Twilight. This is actually kind of like a remaster of this mod that was made for SGDQ. It was all remade by Eucalyptus. Oh. Nope. So all the stages are exactly the same, but the texturing looks a lot nicer now. It's all from a bunch of different Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks in the past. So like this is actually from something that's currently in development, this whole background of this texture set. Called Super Monkey Ball Organic Dreamscape. It's by Pinto Bean. And now, you know, everyone, you know, kind of just collaborated on these backgrounds, you know, getting them from a bunch of different people to make this kind of look nice. I guess something, you know, if you've never seen Monkey Ball, it's fairly simple, you know, just kind of roll the ball and, you know, get to the goal. No jumping or anything, just rolling. Not going to be a whole lot of super crazy big skips or anything like that. There still are going to be a few, though. Like, on this level, this whole track's, like, 5 minutes long. If you do it normally. If you don't do it normally, it's a lot shorter. Okay, there we go. Nice. Yeah, so that little set of bumps skips, like, most of the track. It takes, like, 30 seconds or something instead. Very nice shortcut. Very glad that exists. There's a couple other different shortcuts as well, but that one's just the best one, even if it's fairly hard. This is a really just amazing stage. We gotta hit this really precise point here. Fair. A little off. Yeah, it's pretty hard to aim for it, especially because II himself kind of gets in the way. Have a little bit of a setup to get this to work sometimes, but you kind of just have to be like, you know, oh, there we go. Just in the right spot to get that to work. So that's good that we're past that. Something interesting as well, oh, almost fell off there, is some of these levels are actually reused in Twilight's like kind of main hack that they made called Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitle. Like that's actually the name of the hack. And that level Frames is one of them that's in there. Little specific setup that can get me hit to the top of this little bounce house. Oh, that's a little off. Yeah, the way you do control stick movements in the air kind of affects exactly where you are. So if you don't do the right movements, you can get kind of an odd hit that doesn't really send you in the right place. Oh, wow, that made it in. Yeah, this is actually another level that was kind of in... Actually, I should probably shut up and count some seconds. 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, I can't use timer cues on that level because the timer is frozen. That's an intended part of this hack. It just makes some levels harder, that you'd usually look at the timer and then like go at a certain time. But like that level is kind of in Monkey Ball 2. The only difference is that there's a like arrows that give you indications for when the things are going to turn, but there's no indications in this version because it's Kaizo Monkey Ball, and it's just like that. All right, yeah, this whole world is from a really classic Super Monkey Ball ROM hack called Super Hekamecha. It's by Metallico. That was like, I think, early 2018 or something. Hard to believe that was like over half a decade ago. Like, what the heck? Some fairly hard stages in this world. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a pretty tough dismount onto that thin wire. A lot of times when we're talking about wires in Super Monkey Ball, we use units of ball diameters. So if the width or the diameter of the ball is 1 unit, then that path I'm exiting on is 0.5 units or a 0.5 wire. You'll see... Ooh, okay. Yeah, you still see Are you kidding me? That was not what I wanted to do. But yeah, you see 0.5 wires a fair bit in, like, vanilla Monkey Ball as well. Like, Exam C, that level uses 0.5 wires. We're gonna have some things that are thinner than that as well. Like, on the stage 2... Oh, this really is just not exactly what I wanted to have happen on this level, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Why don't we get it this time? Like, you know what they say, 4th time's the charm, right? Okay. Oh, 5th time's the charm. But yeah. We have a level 2-4, which is going to be these like really narrow paths. They're like 0.25 width wires. And I'm gonna have to be going on those. Which, if this is any indication, then hopefully, you know, hopefully I've used up all the bad mojo now. And oh, there we go. Good God. All right. Yeah, it's funny. This level there's kind of a bit of a meme with Super Monkey Ball custom levels making logo stages. Okay, that was close. Because in the vanilla game, there's like a level with just the Sega logo, and there's also a level which is the AV logo, Amusement Vision. So people make a bunch of different logo levels, so that's kind of what that whole thing is about. Okay, this level is really just the best. No way I actually first tried that one. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. This is really the run of all time. Okay, the next big, like, stopper level, kind of the main one actually, is 2-7. I'm going to be hitting off of some edges which are really, really inconsistent in this game. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, it's going to be clipping some edges. Very tough. A little bit kind of out of your control sometimes. It's a little hard to explain. But I just kind of hope I don't get stuck on 2-7 for, like, you know, more than a minute, because you can actually get stuck on this level for so long. Let's just kind of do it, you know? Yeah, the first few edge hits aren't too bad, but the final one is just rough. Yeah, see, like there, but the way I kind of rolled over that, if you think about that logically, like, I should have gotten hit up, you know? But I really just kind of stood still, like, and rolled flat over it, just like that. And that kind of happens sometimes with edge hits. Like, like there as well. It has to do with the discrete nature with like how edge detection is made. That was just kind of a bad approach, but you know, it like checks edges every frame, and there's no good way to do like a continuous check to see if you would have like passed an edge in between frames. Like when you do a face detection in this game, like face detections are quite good, you know, even if you would be moving kind of like past a face all in one frame, it still like catches it and you still get the hit off of it, but that just doesn't really happen for like edges of and like vertices. So you kind of need to get a little bit lucky on these to get one of those like discrete edge hits. Oh, that would have been perfect if it gave me the edge clip. That's really unfortunate, like actually unfortunate. It's not really a whole lot you can do. It's kind of lucky. This is the main stage. That's like why people don't really speedrun this ROM hack. It's pretty silly. Hopefully we don't get a little like too comfortable here. I have so little speed. I actually didn't have a 0% chance of making it. Oh, yes. Okay. Past that one. That's good. That one didn't take too long. I don't think I was on that for more than a minute, right? If I was, it was close. Okay. So, that's done. That's great. This is a stage. It's really sucks to play this stage casually. Thankfully, that speedrun strat exists and you can skip the whole thing. Also, nice YouTube link. Okay. This stage is a bunch of bumpers on a slide, and the whole point of this stage normally, you're kind of supposed to like go full speed down this thing. There's a wormhole, like a teleporter, at the bottom of this slide. You're supposed to go into that teleporter with a bunch of speed. It takes you to the top of this slide, but on the underside of it, and you're supposed to like ride the underside of this slide with all the speed you have, and use that to like get to the goal, which is at the end of this slide, but on the underside. I don't know if that makes sense. That does not work if you try to do that at all. Like, you just don't have enough speed, so you have to drop off the side and dunk the goal like that. Very nice. That one's not actually that hard, but if you do miss it, you lose like a lot of time all in one go. So I'm glad I didn't miss that. Okay. This is World 3. It's the Crystal Mine background from Super Monkey Ball Gaiden, which is a really, really good Super Monkey Ball ROM hack. Like, if you're looking to get into playing Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks, you should play Super Monkey Ball Gaiden. It's really good. Okay. I'm gonna find the end of this. It's actually made by my brother. I don't know who all knows that, but like there were some like Monkey Ball community people who like the first time they learned of that was when I mentioned it like not too long ago at like a oh my goodness at the GDQ run. But yeah, this stage this is not how you're supposed to play this. You know, you're supposed to ride the outside of this, but we can do a little cycle skip. The geometry here is a little odd, so you have to be really particular about your movement to actually make it in there, because if you fall off too early, the goal angle isn't like good. You can't really get the entry. But right there, you know, I could kind of stay on the edge for a little bit, then fall off, and it gives me a much better approach. Okay. I quite like this stage a lot. I think it's very cool. Oh my goodness, the different parts to it. Okay. Yeah, now this stage is kind of another bit of a luck check stage. Not as bad as the other. Oh, who's getting the goal? Glitch goal. I should have saved the replay. Yeah, you can kind of fly out the front of the goal after going in. It's called a glitch goal, because when you save a replay, it looks a little glitched. Oh, that's a really good strat as well. I'm gonna get some of the hard ones first try. Now we're warming up. Yeah, but you can hit off those bumpers on that big, like, kind of wide open stage, and they send you in a bunch of random directions, basically everywhere except where you want to go. Okay. So that's good. Also on that stage, those O's are very slightly tilting like back and forth, kind of like this. So it's a lot harder to stabilize on them than you think. And if you're going by the wire widths that I was mentioning earlier, that middle one is 0.25 units wide, so basically 1/4 of the ball's diameter. So it's pretty hard to stay on. Once you get to like 0.1, that's when things get really stupid. Like 0.2-ish is when things are still like kind of reasonable, like you can do some things, but point 1 is like, no. Like, it has to be like perfectly flat and you have to be moving like really slowly, which funny enough, some vanilla levels in Super Monkey Ball 1 actually do use 0.1 width wires, but they're like just notoriously difficult challenges. Like if you remember, if you've ever played Super Monkey Ball 1, the guitar level, if you try to get the green goal on that, that's a 0.1 width wire all the way on the right. And that's a perfectly straight wire, and it's still just so difficult. Alright. This level, the economy, I'm gonna be trying to... Oh, this is not good, actually. Can I, like, do a random improv? No. Yeah, I kind of messed up the little setup there. There's a setup you can do to get, like, a nice set of hits here that makes it really easy to fly straight to the goal, because you're, you know, supposed to bounce on all these little dome cutouts. A little high. It's quite hard to do that, and also faster to do it like this, you know, going straight to the end. I don't think I have the distance to make it. Oh, I do! Let's go. Holy cow. That's cool. Another stage where we're going. Actually, something kind of neat you can do in this game. You have a lot more control over yourself in the air than you might expect from playing casually. When you're trying to get distance going forward, if you kind of snake back and forth between up left and up right on the control stick... Oh, watch the minimap, by the way. If you snake up left and up right on the control stick while you're in the air, you can actually get more distance. That's like a really unlucky set of things that could happen there. That's kind of goes off of those edge hit things again. Like, you plan for a couple various outcomes, but some of... What? That's a new one. Oh, goodness gracious. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, about the air boosting thing. You can, gosh dang. You can go up left and up right to get more distance when you're in the air, so that's really nice. Right here, I'm like getting everything except the easy set of hits. If you try to go around these without clipping over them, it's like incredibly tight to make it to the goal in time. There we go, okay. You know, sometimes you gotta take a little bit, you know. Gotta go and smell the roses. But yeah, we're past that. This is a 3D maze level that just whips you around and really is not very nice. If we can... Okay, no. There's a thing you can do to get in the goal like a little bit earlier. You can skip a couple of these turns. Like, I'd be in the goal right now, basically. But instead I can kind of go over here and do this. Thankfully, we know how to get through the maze, so that stage is not a massive pain. Okay, this stage is all about using the friction of these sliding bars, which I actually really like this level. It's quite hard to do fast. Okay, let's do the rest of this. Over here. Nice. Yeah, it's a really cool level. Not a lot of levels use, like, friction from moving bars as, like, the mechanic of the level. That's pretty underdone, if you ask me. But we can get past it like that. There's a pretty tough goal entry angle on this falling strat here. Sometimes it takes a few tries. This is a fair bit faster than riding this whole thing down. There we go. Also, funny thing that can happen, if you try to ride this whole thing down, sometimes you'll randomly get what we call a speed bump and just fly over the whole track, and you die because... Well, the short answer is that this game's edge collision is kind of bad. Like, I think the physics in this game are genuinely quite good. You know, people always jokingly say, like, oh, the physics are so good, and then, like, some stupid thing is happening. But, like, genuinely, like, there are a lot of really dumb cases that this game does handle quite well, as long as it handles hitting, like, the faces of the triangle collision. But when you hit edges, it just doesn't really work. And there's basically a bunch of rogue edges, like, within platforms that you can kind of hit and get bumps off of, even though there isn't really anything there. And that slide is one of the places where that can happen. Alright, so that's a bit of an auto-scroller we're past. Now this level is basically the high-intensity level. It looks like, you know, really easy to start off. You're just climbing these things. But once we get to the top, you know, you'll see it's getting thinner and thinner as we go. It's a little intense. let's hope we don't die, because every time you die, you have to climb this whole thing again. Okay. So we're getting a little thin now. Almost at the goal, though. Oh. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Really want to take your time here. Okay. Very nice. Oh, yeah, it's really tough. That upwards slope is a 0.25 width wire, and then you have to stop on a 0.5 wire at the top, which is just quite the combo. Fortunately, first try, though. Okay, this one is a little harder than it looks, I'd say. I remember... Oh, yeah, see there? These, kind of like concave type, ring things here. You have to land pretty low on them to not just get, like, absolutely smacked outwards, and it's just... I'm actually quite late here. I might die. Nope, we're good. Okay. There we go. Alright, this level's really cool. It's kind of just a big, like, freeform, just big air movement type level. I always have to shout out Nambo whenever I get to this level, who I believe is going to be doing a Monkey Ball run later in this marathon. He said that this level is one of his biggest inspirations for his own, like, level design style, which is really cool. He's making a Monkey Ball ROM hack called Super Monkey Ball Stardust. Here's a cool strat, by the way. Let's do this one real quick. Ooh, nice. The cycles are all the same every time, so you can just get a setup and move through that. He's making a hack, though, called Super Monkey Ball Stardust, which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be really cool getting to play that. The whole gimmick of this level, like, everything's moving really weirdly. The ground below me is considered a part of the background, and it's just reflecting where the invisible floor I'm rolling on is. Okay, nice. And everything in the background doesn't tilt with the stage. You can see the walls were tilting. So it's a little disorienting when you don't know what's going on. Okay, World 5. This is the most difficult world in the run, like, for sure. We have... The first two stages are fairly easy. But once we get to 5-3, we're really kicking it into high gear. Pretty much almost all the way to the end from there. It's like a hubris the stage right there. You want to go fast, but it's like, you gotta make sure you can slow down. Okay. Yeah, it's just all about knowing the cycles. That's like, you know, it's a stage that exists. Okay, this level is rough. I really need to focus on this one. Just, this whole thing is moving around. The floor is always falling away from me, the way this die is moving. So I need to really focus and make sure I'm counting the right amount of turns as well, because there's no indication. One little... Oh, I'm too far! Oh, get up! No! Oh my god, almost first try. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Something else I could mention as well is that this this music you're hearing is actually custom-made. It's by Jim Nopity. This background is from Super Monkey Ball 651. It's one of my personal favorite Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks. Jim Nopity made the entire soundtrack for it, including this song. This is World 7 in Super Monkey Ball 651. A very good soundtrack. Super Monkey Ball 651's soundtrack is... Oh. If you're looking for something from Jim Nopity's to listen to, I really like the World 8 song called Soap Fractures. Very good. Probably, like, the fan favorite song. He also, Scrap recently released another Super Monkey Ball ROM hack called Super Monkey Ball Invasion. And Jim Nopity also did the whole soundtrack for that as well. So that's awesome. It has his own, like, music he makes as well. It's just... Jim Nopity's a bro, you know? dang. I really just need to, like, focus and just nail this, because this is quite a hard stage. Like, I would have been very glad to get this first try. If anyone has played probably the most popular Super Monkey Ball ROM hack right now, Super Monkey Ball Gaiden. Actually, let me just shut up a little bit. Get up there. Okay, we're past. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. We can do that, and then we're good. Alright. So yeah, if anyone's played Super Monkey Ball Gaiden, there's a stage in World 10 called Genesis, which kind of looks pretty similar, where you're, like, going along a cube that's, like, rotating along. But the way the cube rotates in Gaiden, like, it kind of flips you up onto where you're going to go next, when here it always collapses away from you. And the way it collapses away from you, instead of tossing you up, makes it a lot more difficult. This is a fairly hard level. Yeah, that last little, like, drop down is pretty tight. These little, like, things on the edges of the little rooftops are supposed to be D-cheese. They don't do that good of a job, though. As you can see, I skipped, like, all the beginning layers, which is nice. You can just skip all the easy stuff before you get to the actual hard parts. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a bit of a clench goal entry. Okay, now we're gonna be flipping off some edges. You know, doing, like, bumps off of stuff like this in this game really does not work very well. Oh, see, like, right there? That's, you know, if you run at these the wrong way, then you just kind of roll over them and don't get a bump. That's that sort of, like, discrete edge detection thing I was talking about in World 2, where you can kind of just get unlucky sometimes. That's, like, the strat I have for that stage, you kind of just have one thing where you have to get a little lucky, and that's the one where I got screwed the first time, so it's not too bad. This is actually a really cool level casually, but there are like 5 billion ways to skip the whole thing, so that's a little sad, honestly. Okay, yeah, this one. This level is really difficult. It's a harder version of IkeSMB, which is probably the most notorious vanilla level. It's Expert 7 and Super Monkey Ball 1, if you're more familiar with those. And then the Super Monkey Ball Deluxe names for them. This ending bit is what makes it hard. Little jumps in the wire. First try! Okay, yeah, the third jump on that wire is just absolutely brutal. So, we're past that, that's great. Now, this level, so you're supposed to really slowly go through all these rings. Like, this is kind of just like a troll level, honestly. You know, slowly navigate through all these rings. I'm pretty sure that website link goes to nothing, by the way, in case you were wondering. Then there's a goal spinning around really fast at the end. You have to, like, time and exit through one of these holes to get there. But if I hold up for 26 seconds all the way up till I go through this 5th ring, and then I do a precise movement, I can do something cool. Okay. Yes! Okay, okay, nice! Alright, you can get really, really stuck on that level, because it's not that hard, but everything takes forever on that stage. Like, retrying it, if you go into that outer area where there's like some wormhole spinning around, that takes a really long time. But if you do that setup I did, you can get kind of a jank hit off of one of the edges that looks straight up, but one of the interior like triangle edges is angled. So you can get hit up from that like edge, fly up, skip all the outer rings, go straight into the goal. It's really good. Shoutouts to Nambo who found that strat. Very nice. This level is way more difficult than it looks. Balancing a ball on a cylinder is really hard, because the actual spot that you can be on and not be dead is way smaller than it looks. Okay, let's focus up. We're entering clutch mode right now. Okay, that was not very clutch. Alright, this is the one. Interestingly enough, by the way, this is actually one of the levels that Twilight put into Monkey Ball 2. It is very slightly nerfed. That lower, like, what you call it, the lower cylinder thing is a little wider in Monkey Ball 2, I believe. A little off, a little off. So it's pretty easy to die quite a bit on this level, but hopefully it's hopefully it's not too much. Okay, second turn. Got the straightaway. Boom. Okay, we're in there. Something that actually makes some cylinder levels a lot easier, and that level is not one of them. It's you know, a lot of collision in this game is triangulated. You know, it's made out of like physical like triangles, right? And the way people make okay, good. The way people make cylinders is basically almost as if you have a bunch of like rows of like triangles at a specific slant that kind of run parallel to each other. And so like basically the more or like the less polygons that are in one of those like cylinders, the easier it is to go along, because you can kind of just follow one set of follow one of those sets of like polygons and act like it's just a tilted wire instead of a cylinder. Interestingly enough, this game actually has collision like objects as well, which act differently than triangles. So you can make something that's like a mathematically defined cylinder. Dang. This is actually not that hard of a stage with this setup I have, but it can kind of trip me up sometimes. Dang, it's a little hard to stay on these. It's but yeah, there are some really cool levels you can make using like mathematically defined cylinders that you couldn't really do with like triangulated cylinders. Like say in the new hack I actually mentioned called Super Monkey Ball Invasion, there's a level I really like called Sci-Fi Highway, which is just basically a bunch of those collision like cylinders, except it's all like just all of them in like a line where you have to go really fast between all of them, and it's a very cool level. I like that one a lot. Alright, we're past that. What is... Okay, yeah, this one. Some pretty tough precision here. Let's not hit these bumpers. Okay. Ah, a little off. That sometimes you can hit a bumper and not immediately die. Because, you know, the speed you get hit out from a bumper, it's like a function of your own speed. So if you're not moving too fast hitting a bumper, you can still kind of live sometimes. Okay, there we go. This level looks easy, and it is easy. I don't really know why this is here. That is, like, just as easy as it looks. Okay, we're heading up on an actually hard level, though, 6-7. Probably the last, like, really, really hard level in the run, where you can get pretty hard walled in a speed run. It's kind of based on the vanilla level totalitarianism. It's all these like different rings on these poles that go up and down. There's like this floor under them. The rings try to hit you through the floors, but instead of dodging the rings below, there's actually no floor at all, and we have to ride the tops of the rings, and it usually takes a long time, but thanks to some skips that Eddie and Nambo found, we can do a number of jumps here. A little off. A number of jumps to skip a lot of these like transfers, which is very good because these take a long time to go up and down. Oh, almost one. You have to do two, but as a joke, yeah. Sometimes I forget the level names. The level names are kind of memes, you know. As you may have been able to gather. Twilight just heard that. Oh, what the heck? That's what I mean with this game's collision, man. Like, why did I get set to the right? this is hopefully gonna be good. A little low. Yeah, it's a really specific part of these discs that you have to hit to make it to the other side, because not only, you know, it's a kind of like a bit of a frustrum, I suppose. It's also angled steeper near the middle than it is at the ends. So it's almost like, you know, if you took like a mountain that's like, you know, steep at the top, not very steep at the bottom, cut off the very top. That's kind of what these things are. You have to use that whenever you're doing these bounces. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'd like to note that's quite a hard stage even if you don't do skips on it. So I'm still, you know, not too upset there. Okay, this level is really interesting because before this like updated version that gave everything nice backgrounds and everything. Oh, what the heck? Before this updated version, this level actually was not possible because the kill plane was too high and the goal was under it. It was submerged in the kill plane and you could not beat this level. Anytime you tried to get to the goal, you would just fall out even though you are above the stage. Thankfully, that was fixed in this version, so that is very nice. Okay. Now, this is probably the only, like, easy auto-scroller in the run. There are a couple other auto-scrollers, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Like, that cube level, you know, very auto-scrollery, but very hard. As long as you know a route through this, you're, like, kind of chilling. Let's hope I didn't jinx myself, because that would be really funny. Okay. I was going to say, I haven't actually played this stage in a while, so I was like, what if I forget the route? But I didn't, so we're good. Alright. Okay, this level, the Grinder, the Gnasher, the 5-beat Slasher. What a name. Twilight just heard, you know, they were going to get to pick names and have them be in front of, like, thousands of people at GDQ. So they went crazy, you know? Okay, last world. This level is really the only hard level in this world, even though, like, kind of a funny thing is that this level, or this hack, is not really, like, ordered by difficulty, because the original state of this hack was, like, kind of unfinished, basically, but then, you know, it got into GDQ, and it's like, okay, well, okay, yeah, if you hit those fast-forward switches, the thing starts moving fast, and the level just kind of becomes unbeatable, so you don't want to hit those. So, yeah. Okay, that's what you actually want to see there. Okay, let's take an extra cycle on this. You can make this early, but it's pretty tough. The last switch is quite hard to avoid. Okay, there we go. How are we doing on time? Oh dear. Gotta get underestimate. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully, like, none of these other stages are actually too difficult, just because this is just the order that Twilight happened to make the stages in, presumably at least. So we can handle some of these, you know. Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay, this one, this is a pretty cool level, but you have to do a bit of a setup to get over that, like, gap, but it's like, once you figure it out, it's like, that level's awesome. Okay, this one, I'm gonna be climbing this big, steep slope here. Actually, I mentioned that you can use diagonals on the control stick, upwards diagonals, to get more distance in the air. You can also use them to climb steeper slopes, like here. If I were to try and just hold up on this slope, then I would just go straight back down. I would not climb it up at all. If I snake back and forth like that, then I can make it up. Okay. So, oh, whoops. think we might go a little overestimate. Very sad. Okay, this is a bit of a precision level. It's fun to try and take this one a little quickly. But it's easy to get out of hand on some of these. Ah, dang. Okay. This is the time, basically. That's what I'm saying. It's like, on average, you know, the paths you cross aren't that narrow, but like the thinnest points, when like two circles get really close to each other, are definitely pretty narrow. So that one's can be harder than it looks, but dang it. I was about to say these last 4 levels are like really easy and you almost never die to them, but you know, it wasn't even commentator's curse. I hadn't said it yet, I was just thinking it. The game knew, the game read my mind. Okay. Bit of a puzzle level, but we already know the solution. Alright, 2 levels left. Got this quick one right here. One of the few times where we're going to use an edge hit where we don't have to. Okay, nice. Because usually whenever you're making strats, you want to avoid edge hits like the plague. Alright, last level here. The time's going to end when we cross the gold tape. Gonna fling out right here. Am I a little too far? I am too far. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Going over here. And... Oh! Ah! No, the goalpost! And funny thing, a lot of times when you're going really fast in this game, you can kind of just go through the goalposts, but it just decides to not do that, you know, whenever you need it to, basically. There we go, time! Okay. Alright. So, boom. That's it! That's the whole thing. Sweet. Yeah, this is a, you know, Monkey Ball ROM hacking. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of glad that, you know, we got the everyone to come together to make this like version of Kaizo Monkey Ball where it's like all the different cool looking backgrounds, because before this version it was all a bunch of like kind of default looking things, you know, just like a gray background and default grass textures. But it's cool to see that this hack, which I think is like very very non-standard. People don't really make levels like this, you know. People make stuff that's like well designed most of the time. People don't decide to make a level where you're just like going on this cube and it doesn't even tell you where it's going, you just kind of have to figure it out, but it's like kind of fun, you know. So I'm glad that this is put together. Glad that there's a lot of cool Monkey Ball ROM hacks, like some of the other hacks that are going to be run at this marathon. Like I know like Super Monkey Ball Guidance here, Super Monkey Ball Launch is here. I know Eddie's going to be doing some Supernova stuff. Supernova is like by far the most difficult Super Monkey Ball ROM hack, like not even close. Like Kaizo's like kind of tough, you know, it's pretty hard. There's some other hacks that are kind of comparable, but my goodness. If you really want to see like the hardest Monkey Ball levels ever devised by man, you should watch the Supernova run, because Eddie is just so insane at this game. And he's gonna kill it. Alright, that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't know if Wolsk, if you have anything you wanted to say, wrap it up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, basically my thing is like, yeah, I don't know if you heard Wolsk, how exactly the audio is set up, but basically Super Monkey Ball ROM hacks are cool. You should play them. Very awesome. Super Monkey Ball Gaiden is very cool. Super Monkey Ball 651 is awesome. Super Monkey Ball Launch Super Monkey Ball Invasion. Those are all my all my ROM hack recommendations for Super Monkey Ball. Like, oh yeah, if you wanted to like follow on Twitch, then that's a thing you could do, I guess. IkeSMB. It's funny, I say that, I even have the, you know, Super Monkey Ball in my name. I feel like I haven't played Monkey Ball on stream in like a month. Like, what the heck? But yeah, that's kind of all I have, really. Yeah, it's nice to see you guys.